Hey everyone, thanks for checking out today's broadcast. If this is your first time catching one of my videos or watching one of my videos, a little bit about me. My name is Jonathan. I'm 39 years old. I'm married and have 4 children. I've been overweight my whole life, and I knew last year I got myself to a point that I had to do something. And Anthony's checking in saying hi Anthony. I hope everything's going okay with you there. But yeah, so I have I knew last year I needed to do something. I let myself get to a point that was just really, absurd. But I slowly got there. It took years and years to get up to that point, but I got up to around 520 pounds. And I knew that I needed to do something. And I've done lots of things over the years. I've tried all kinds of different diets and tried all kinds of different ways to lose weight. And I've had success with different things, but I was never successful in a sense that I was able to keep any of the weight off or maintain any of the weight loss that I had. And I always put weight on and ended up generally gaining more weight back than I lost. And that's how I got up to 520 pounds. So I started this channel with 2 big challenges in mind. The first one is that I was going to do this for 3 years. I wanted to hold myself accountable for that amount of time. I wanted to focus on losing weight for that amount of time as well, because I had never focused on it that long. I had never taken it serious for that long. I always found ways to lose weight quick, and then I don't know, maybe in the back of my mind I was like, well, that's a way I can lose weight. I know I can do that. So it doesn't really matter because it wasn't that tough. Because a lot of times losing the weight hasn't been, in hindsight, difficult. While you're in it, there's difficulty to it. But in hindsight, it always, like after you've lost the weight, like when I look back at the last 10 months, I don't think of it as being that difficult. But I know that there were times that it was very difficult over those 10 months. So you let off the gas, and that's why I wanted to commit to doing this for 3 years. And then the other big part of it was committing to losing a substantial amount of weight, because I've lost, huge amounts of weight in short periods of time. Just now, for example, in the last 10 months, I've lost almost 200 pounds. And in the past, I've lost as much as 120 pounds. I've had times where I've lost 60 pounds or 80 pounds. But, even while those moments were successes, they were, when I got to, where I felt like I needed to be, I was still pretty overweight. And that's why I decided that I need to lose more weight than I've ever tried to lose, and to get to a weight that I haven't been to since probably since I was 16 years old. So that's why I committed to losing the 300 pounds. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, or have any questions or comments or anything they want to say, I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell icon so that you can turn on the notifications, and you'll get alerted when I go live, which is generally about 4 p.m. on weekdays. Carrie's checking in saying hi. Hi, Carrie. I hope everything is going well at home. We also have a Discord, that the link for the Discord is down in the description below. You can check that out. That's just really the best. What we do with the Discord is share mostly the recipes that we've been eating, and what kind of is our regular staples is what's on that Discord for the most part. So yeah, make sure that you subscribe and all that other stuff. Since yesterday, I had not a ton go on. We've just been getting things ready. We're going out of town this weekend, so we have to kind of make sure everything is set up for that. And there's a lot of stress that comes with traveling when you're on a diet like ours. The nice thing for me is I always fall back because I don't know that we're never going to be that far away from food that it's going to be an issue. But I'm sure there'll be times that we won't have any food options while other people are eating. Carrie says, hey, new haircut. Yes, I did get a haircut. You must have just checked out the video. Yes, I wasn't sure if I was going to get it cut similar to how I had it before. And then I got there and I decided to get it cut like I had before. I like it. But I figured since we are going to a wedding this weekend, I should look half semi-decent, especially if I'm going to be wearing blue jeans to the wedding. So but yeah, getting everything ready to go this weekend. We have to deal with the dogs and get them taken care of. And then traveling with 4 kids has its own stresses. And then and then having our diet be what it is, there's going to be a little bit of that. Fortunately, from listening to us or from what we're doing, Carrie's parents, who we're going to be staying with, they are eating a plant-based diet similar to ours. They are restricting some of the intake of sodium, but they haven't removed the salt, oil, and sugar from their diet, but they are eating a plant-based diet, no meat products. And so while we're at their house, there should be some options for food that we can eat there. And I'm sure that Carrie's mom will probably try to make us something if we end up eating a meal there. I guess now that I think about it, I don't know if we're going to end up eating a meal. It's going to be quite a crazy weekend because we're going to leave at 4 or 5 p.m., probably 4 p.m. on Friday to drive 4 hours, go to bed, get up. We have a wedding to go to on Saturday, and then we're also going to go to it's called the City Museum down in St. Louis in one day, and then get up the next morning on Sunday and travel back and try to get home fairly quickly because we have things to do on Sunday as well. So it's going to be 8 hours of travel for about 6 hours of fun. It's not the travel to fun ratio that I like to have, but we'll figure it out. It'll be a whirlwind weekend. It'll be a lot of driving for somebody. But I do see the doctor tomorrow morning though, to see what's going on with my arm. I imagine that they will continue to make me wear the brace. I would kind of want to wear the brace anyways, but I'm, while it seems like it's been an eternity since I had surgery, it's really been like 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks at the most, but I think it's been like 5 weeks. And the protocol that they had it set up for me wearing the brace for at least 9 weeks. And then after 9 weeks, they could start to wean out of wearing the brace. So I do not think I will be able to dance with the brace on. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have to do that. Anthony, how was the mustard on the salad? So with all new things come new recipes and new deals. The mustard that we had had a little bit more vinegar in it. The mustard that we purchased that we got had more vinegar than the old mustard, and the recipe that Carrie uses to make the mustard has apple cider vinegar in it. So when she made the mustard at first, it was very runny and had too much vinegar in it. So she put some of the other ingredients in it more to try to thicken it up, try to change the flavor. On the salad itself, the first bite was a bit strong, and it was definitely not as sweet as it normally tastes, like the dressing that the mustard and the way the dressing is normally made. But after the first bite, you kind of got, it was something where we both kind of were like, well, this is what we have. Because Carrie kind of jumped in both feet and made a double batch of it, not really trying it out, just putting everything together and realize, so we didn't have a backup plan, and we both had large bowls of salad in front of us. So we both kind of were like, well, we have to eat it. There's nothing, it's not really much other choice we have. And really, after the first bite and you just got used to that vinegar flavor, or the amount of vinegar it had, it tasted fine. Actually, I didn't have any problems with it because, if anything, I tasted the salad more than I usually do. When I eat these salads, the one flavor that really stands out is the cucumber. I think just because there's so much water and moisture in it, that it kind of powers through. But other than that, the flavor of the corn and the onions and things like that get drowned out by the dressing. And I felt like we could taste it more with the way she made it yesterday. And then Carrie says next time we use that mustard, she'll leave the apple cider vinegar out of the recipe and then add it after as needed to get the flavor that we're looking for. But yeah, we ended up eating our bowls. I ate. So Carrie uses like a large popcorn bowl, fills it with spinach, mixes everything together, and then pulls like half of it. And I imagine she chops like the spinach up as she's adding things, but then she pulls out what would be a large bowl of salad for herself. And it was the first time that I had more salad than I could eat. Like, I mean, just sitting there eating the salad. I don't know if she didn't take as much as she normally does, or she just kind of had made a big salad expecting both of us to eat a lot. And I didn't eat any. I don't feel like I ate any less than I normally eat. I just felt like the volume or the amount of salad that we had last night was more than I normally eat. And so that was okay. That was kind of nice, actually. It kind of is something that, what the scale says aside, I've been happy with how my digestion has been in the last few days. While I've been through this process, and one of the things that you'll find if you eat a whole food plant-based diet is that you eat a larger volume of food, but that also means you have a larger volume of waste that comes out the other end. And it's hard to put words on exactly how I was feeling with it since the surgery, but it just hasn't been right, or I haven't felt like I got my stomach and my intestines filled up and working in the order, working the way they should. And the last 2 or 3 days, I've really had some good bowel movements throughout the last couple days, and that has really improved my overall just feeling and mood. For whatever reason it does it does. It's I don't know, there was somebody that had talked about eating this type of diet and being constipated but still having bowel movements, just like, but just not getting everything going. And I really feel like it has been, my digestion has been better, and eating that salad last night, I think it helped even more, like that feeling today for sure. Um, so Anthony is asking, have you made any meatless chili soup? So we have a couple things. And then he said, I got some chili powder in a bag today. We have a couple dishes that are not necessarily called a chili, but have like all the same ingredients. There's a chickpea, not a chickpea, the quinoa, that we have, but like with the beans and the onions and the everything that's in it, I really feel like it's a chili. And then there is a few other soups that have mostly everything. Yeah, okay. We do one called a mega veggie chili. And then Carrie's asking if you were able to get to the salt, oil, sugar-free Pinterest board that she has, because I think she linked that to or in the Discord there was a link to the that. But yeah, the mega veggie chili is one of the other. I know there's a few other things that are similar to chilies that we have, but right now I guess the main staples, the miso is something that I always enjoy, and is one of the soups that we have. The chickpea tikka masala, I think that's what we had last night, is another that we have quite a bit of the time. Carrie says you can make it in the Instant Pot, so it's quick once you chop up all the veggies. Yeah, it does take the effort to getting it prepared, but once you get that all together, you just throw it in the Instant Pot and it makes it real quick, which is nice. What was I talking about? Some of the other kind of staples for meals. The salad that we had yesterday is one that we probably have once a week or once every week and a half. Trying to think. I can't think of anything. But anyways, I don't have much else to talk about. Let me think. We're traveling. We got some mangoes, which is going to be the traveling food. I only saw one bag of mangoes though, which I don't know what the deal with that is, but maybe there's another bag. I just don't know about it. But that's kind of especially for me too, like traveling, that's gonna be yeah, it's just something we don't ever think about. Carrie says you're trying to control our consumption. This is since we started this in November, we traveled with the family in January and then maybe again in February. And it was funny. I feel like we were so much more worried about things, having everything that we need to have. And now I think that we're a little bit more relaxed. Cause, just of the confidence in our diet and how what we're doing is improving our lives. And, it's kind of I guess what made me think about even that was just thinking about traveling and how there are so many traditions that you build while traveling that have food involved with them. Carrie, for example, always talks about that they always had Twizzlers while they were traveling because it was an easy snack to have. And like how many times I've been driving and been tired and used eating as like, well, I need to eat to stay awake, and so just eating anything just to stay awake, and how just doing it without any concern without thinking of what the consequences of eating those things were really doing, and really if they were benefiting, how they're benefiting them, and how it's not adding the food to the event doesn't make the event better. Like traveling down to St. Louis isn't better because we stop at the Taco Bell in Monmouth every time, but it's when you think about doing those events, especially the first time, you think about how am I going to do it without stopping at Taco Bell, or how am I going to do it without, having the food be, a big part of it. And then like this whole weekend, like I said, we're going to be presented with times where there's going to be food that is going to be made for us, or that's going to be there for the guests to have, and we're not going to eat it. And the other I like, and how weird it is that there's people that live this diet or this way of eating, and not even as strict as us. But if you were to eat whole food, plant-based, and no oil, and you went to a wedding or a baby shower or a bachelor party, especially, I suppose, but any event, there isn't any food options for those people ever. Like, I'm going to go to this wedding, and it's not going to be the first time I've gone to a public event where there's been zero things that are on our diet or that we can eat. But it's one of the first times for us where there's people that are my age that have been eating this way for 15 years or eating this way their whole life. And that's the normal for them, is to go to a wedding and not be able to eat the food, and just kind of like, because of how we eat. And yeah, it's and it's also an odd thing that we're going to be like, somebody might notice that we aren't eating the food, and then we have to explain why we're not eating the food. And then it comes off I feel like it may come off, well, I don't think it'll come off bad right now, because at 320 pounds, if I say I'm not eating this type of food, people will be like, okay. But when we get down to our goal weights, when I get down to being under 220 pounds and we go to a wedding and I say, oh, I don't eat anything that has any animal products in it, people may view that, or I think I may have viewed somebody who said that as being righteous or being kind of the other half of the vegan diet than what like I'm a vegan diet for the health reasons, and the um and less about, or well, it was less about the animals when I switched over to this type of diet. As I eat this way and see more information, I'm changing that. But Carrie says it's kind of like a kid with a peanut allergy at a birthday party. Yeah, there's but it's less accepted than a kid, somebody with a peanut allergy. Like when you go to like our kids' school lunches, they have a peanut free option, or you can get some other free options. But if we say we want to give our kids a vegan diet, they don't really have an option for us. And we have to provide our own food. And so there's, I feel like the, because veganism is viewed as a choice, that you were then choosing not to eat. Whereas if you have an allergy to something like peanuts, you don't have a choice not to eat that, because you're allergic to it. And so it's kind of a way of subtly forcing dairy and forcing animal products onto people, because it's presented to them as if they're choosing. And I think it's people are choosing to eat animals. I guess I would say we're more designed to eat plants. And then, yeah, got to bring your own cake or skip cake. Either way, it feels a little awkward, but people understand. Yeah. And the, yeah. And you're right. It's very similar. I mean, us having this as our diet, and really, I feel like that, I mean, eating animal products had a lot of negative effects to me. Maybe I'm allergic to animal products. I was, swelled up, inflamed, and in pain, and all kinds of different things while I was eating animal products, and now I'm not. But there's just not as many options when you say you're vegan. And it is, it's a tough thing for people to deal with. And it's even tougher when you are also have kind of that, the, the negative whatever the negative connotations to saying that you're vegan that seem to be throughout the culture that everybody holds. And even I held those views. I mean, I had, my brother had switched to a vegan diet. I had a friend that was vegan, and I never thought it was a real thing. As weird as it is to say, like I never thought it was, I thought being vegan was like going on a keto diet, or being vegan was, just a phase that you would go through. And then at some point you'd realize that you need meat, or you wouldn't be as strong or as healthy. And I never really had any actual evidence to base those assumptions off of, just what we were doing, Anthony says, I got shade from a friend for wearing a mask. It's a choice. And yeah. I mean, the mask thing for me is, yeah, it's a silly thing because I'll wear a mask, and I'm in a state, I work in a state that requires masks everywhere. And then I live in a state that doesn't require masks at all. So it's a little bit goofy kind of going from place to place, but I'll wear a mask to the if we had the Impossible Whopper, it's really good. It did have mayo. No, we haven't had any of that. Like the kind of the processed kind of vegan foods. Our kids, that is something that we may do this weekend, is hit a place that has something like an Impossible or like a Beyond Meat alternative for their whatever at their restaurant. Because but yeah, I haven't tried that. My brother eats has had and I think that they quit selling that at the local Burger King, because Burger King might have been the only place that had that, and then didn't have the oil that they cooked the fries in was vegan compliant. Okay, so Carrie's out of here. Yep, Carrie, you have a good evening. I will be home soon. I just actually saw what time it is now. I should probably get off of here. I do want to thank you guys for checking out the broadcast. I am going to get out of here. Thanks. Make sure that you do click on that subscribe or whatever. Hit subscribe so you get subscribed to the channel. See how many times I can say subscribed in a row. Subscribed. Click on the bell icon to turn on notifications so you'll get alerted when I go live. And I will not be on tomorrow. We're traveling all weekend. I'll be back on Monday, and I'll let you know how the weekend went and how all the travels went. I hope you guys have a good weekend and everything goes good for you. If you haven't started your diet yet, make sure you get started right now. There's no reason to wait. There's no, this wedding this weekend, it would be an easy thing to say, I'm going to wait till after the wedding. But, just think of if, Monday comes and you can say, hey, I got through that wedding right away. Toughest challenge I could have put in front of myself, and I did it. I got through this weekend. I got through the event without breaking my diet, without having any issues. And that could be the start of what, ends up being your last diet, your success. So get started with your diet now and tell somebody you're dieting. Let them know. Say, hey, I want to do this. And a lot of times people will probably help you. They'll encourage you. Don't let anybody throw any negativity at you. You got to do it the way you want to do it. They're not going to be the one that's putting the food in your mouth. So, get started. Let somebody know you're doing it. You guys all have a good weekend.